everyone, this is Kathleen and I am here with a really beautiful chunky junk journal to share with you today. This I did with the challenge for Dear Julie this month. It was Artfully August Junk Journal Challenge, and we were able to use all of our stuff, our stash, our supplies, everything. The challenge was just to be artful and use a lot of different mixed media. Julie had a list of things that we were required to do, and I managed to do it all. So I have made a tassel. A tassel was one of the things that we needed to make, and so I have used just all kinds of fibers for this tassel and some ribbons, and it just clips on the top with a little tiny paper clip, and so it can slide off if you want. Got a bead and a crown there, and I've also made a charm dangle with several pretty charms. So let me go inside and show you. I have used a hair tie closure because it, as I say, it was very thick and stuffed with pockets and ephemera, and yeah, so it needed to be sturdy. So I've used the jeans button here, and I've got from a Reader's Digest book plate here in the front. I did a little bit of crochet with some string, and I've made a little charm here. And this is a beautiful, from the kit, purple kit. This was one of the elements that we were required to do, is a page with 3 pockets, and this is the way I did mine. I have a floating page with some stenciling, a little card there, and then it folds around a second page and clips on. This is we were also required to use bubbles to make a print, and alphabet letters, and so I chose an old trashy letter. It literally came from the trash at my friend's house, and I did some ink and painting with the bubbles over the top of that letter, and then used a sticker and some stencils, and this just makes a journal card that you can write over the top of all of that. I would probably use a gel pen if it were me. Used some fibers here, some smushing and inking. This is another inked part of that letter, and I've just done some stamping, and I did a little mosaic here along the edge of this card. I'm gonna have to start going fast. This is another one of Dear Julie's digitals, pretty lace scrunch, and I used a little bit of cardboard there. This is a belly band with a couple of inserts. I've made this bubbles journal card again, and a stamp. Done some embossing there. And I have done one of my favorite things to do is a cluster belly band. And I like the way this has turned out. This is just a recycled piece journaling paper with this beautiful purple bird here on the front. So that just goes in there as well. I really like the way that looks. Yeah, this is a print from one of the ephemera bases, and a vintage airmail envelope, and there's nothing in there at the moment. Flip out page. This is my junk mail element, which was an old greeting card, the back of the greeting card, so I sanded it down and did a little collage here to kind of cover that up. And then I have made just a little altered paper clip here with a charm on it and some ribbon. The other half of that envelope, and this is a vintage just blank, a vintage index card. Slide in there. This is another altered paper clip. And this is a leaf print. That was part of the challenge, was to make something with printing with leaves, real leaves. So I just used some acrylic paint and brayered it on there and then stamped it. And I have a little bit of a collage there as well. This is my over the page element with numbers and handwriting. In joy and in sadness, flowers are constant. Gosh, that is so true. Here's a little bit of a pocket here on this front that slips over the page. This is another, this is my dimensional element. I used things that add dimension on it. Some washi tape, some glossy accents, and this is a little belly band in case you have some tickets or something, and it just folds up and around that page. This is another pretty background lace from one of Dear Julie Jean's kits. Avocado dyed paper. This is a negative space. We had to use negative space on an element. This is just a little folded out journal paper with some alphabet on there. And I did just a little collage page with some of the digitals. This is my triple pocket envelope flip, and just a vintage prescription paper. Well, I'll put that in later. And there's that. And then on this side is the envelope, and it has space for 2 inserts, texture paste on that handmade paper. This is a printing pattern there. This is my little doodle card. I really don't like the way it turned out, but that's what challenges are, you know. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. This is also dimensional. I had used just 2 copies of the same digital and layered them. It's just a vintage ephemera, some flowers from an antique book of purple flowers. And this is a little flip pocket with a little piece of ephemera in it. And it also has a tuck in the back. This pretty purple flowers in this kit. And this is gathered from outside, this little feather. This says, made a cozy nest. Some layered shorts. Here's the other part of my negative base. This is the positive. And just a vintage note paper. This is, I think this might be my a junk mail as well. It's just an old greeting card from. This is a ripped page, and it has just a couple of journal papers inside. And this one is one of the fancy folds, and I've done all that inking, trying to mimic some purple flowers. And a little peekaboo pocket. This is my Kaleidoscope card. And this is my quilted element. I just used fabric glued onto the card, and then I embossed it to kind of give it a little bit of dimension and texture. This is also dimension. This coffee dyed braille paper, and this is one of my little charms. All of these things were part of the requirements. Yeah, more inking and smishing, stamping. This is my flip up and down element and my eco dyed element. Here is the flip up and down page. And these just go here in the back. 2 inserts for that. This is my flip, stack a note flip. So I have several little note papers here, and it tucks under there, and then this is also a tuck in the back and a pocket. So there are a lot of things going on here. This is my double edge pocket with 2 inserts that I have smushed and stamped. And then there's a pocket on the other side too, and another dimensional journal paper. This is my waterfall flip. So there's papers and there's little sayings on the newspapers. And then there is also a little pocket on the back of this. And I'm just sliding it over this page. Another one of the postcards in the kit. I just made a journal card and a little altered paper clip, and this is just a little vintage stationery. It's very pretty. And that, again, just folds over the edge. And then I have a couple pieces of ephemera on this side. Let's see if I can get that back on there. Last little folded pocket with some vintage ephemera receipt. And that's the end. Thanks so much for being with me and for witnessing the completion of my challenge. And I am going to list this for sale on Etsy, so you can check the description box for a link. Thanks so much. That was a little bit long, but there's a lot going on in here. We'll see you again with a new project.